G'day guys, I got my little helper today. Hey Loki, say hello. He's helping me water, and it's something I've got to go into the greenhouse and do shortly. But I wanted to take his in with me before I get on to that, and quickly introduce a video for today that I was lucky enough to make part of yesterday, because I got some visitors. I got visitors from 2 customers. I've had some prior, 2 restaurants come out to that, and I've had a couple more before that, but yesterday was particularly different because the Edible Garden Cafe came out. They're a waiting venue. They've been using my products for a long time, and I love them. Such a beautiful spot, and I'm so glad my produce is in there. But I was also visited by Dan from Farmer Charlie's. He's the buying agent or / manager or the man at that stall. And Farmer Charlie's is the sort of largest independent fruit and veggie store here. It's huge. It's like a warehouse, guys. It's massive, and they got lots of small goods too, and they buy heaps of local stuff, and I was fortunate enough to get in there. So Dan's I've arranged Dan to come out with the cafe owners yesterday and have a look around the new greenhouse and things I've been doing, just to create some transparency between him and I, and so he can learn more too about how to promote my product if anyone asks, or just how it's done. And I was proud to show them that, because I believe it's important. But what I did, I was lucky enough to get 5 questions out of him that I've summarized from all your viewers' questions about how to approach or get into, say, a wholesale market that's doable. It's not big, it's not it's big enough to get you going, but what he wants to hear and what he wants to see, he's going to answer in a couple of questions coming up. And listen out for a few key words he says, which I'll cover at the end of the video. But as for now, let's go and have a quick look, and we'll get into that interview. Okay, I'm here with Dan from Farmer Charlie's. How are you, Dan? Can you please give us a description on your role at Farmer Charlie's?
Right, so at Farmer Charlie's, I manage the store with one of the other blokes, Daryl. I worked there as a kid. I moved away for a couple of years after I finished school, and got asked to come back and take over from Barry, who previously ran the store for 20 odd years. So now I'm in that role, and yeah, absolutely loving it. Been 6 months since I've been doing it, so yeah, absolutely loving it so far.
Oh, you're the top notch, the top weed. Have you heard of Microgreens before, and before buying from us, for example?
Yeah, look, Microgreens isn't a well-known thing to the public, I'd say. Like, your chefs and your restaurateurs, they've known about it for a little while, but it's never been one of those popular things. Previously if somebody asked for microgreens, it was always a chef, and we just bought them straight out of the markets. Sure. So I didn't have a real big understanding of them at all, but I just knew that they were available at request.
Okay. So how did you sell them to the chefs? How were they available at that time?
So for us, we would buy straight out of the Brisbane markets in boxes of 12.
Yep.
And I would always tell the chef, if you want them, you have to take the whole entire box. So, because I knew that the general public wouldn't pick up micro herbs to take home for themselves.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense, mate. Okay, that leads me into my next question. Microgreens are generally new to the Australian public. Do you think they have an opportunity for larger success, like with the public we're speaking, not the chefs? The chefs are already onto it, but it's a relatively new thing, like you said, and to educate the people on 2 things, nutritional value and flavour, and the new look of them, how do you think they're going to go?
I think it will be, I wouldn't say a drawn out process, but it will be a bit of a slog for a little while. I've spoken about this particular thing to a few people over the last couple of weeks, to be honest, and changing people's habits is hard, and it takes a long time. But in order to change people's habits, you need to put quality product out there, not necessarily just price, but quality product.
Sure.
People will remember the quality long after the cheap price.
That's
So for the general public, yes, it will take a little bit of time. But you know, if they can see it on the shelves in stores, you know, places where they go frequently, it will be one of those things that they do start to pick up on. And from my experience, I mean, I never ate microgreens before I started buying from you. And taking the punnets home that you supply us, I was hooked. You know, like I'll take two punnets a week home now and just use them in a salad mainly. Whereas before it was just lettuce in a salad. That was it. That's as adventurous as I got.
That's I didn't pay him to say that either, so that's come from his heart. Now, I guess that led me into my next question, which is sort of answered. But from buying from us, is it going well so far? I mean, with the public, I mean, it's been a slow process. I can see that from ordering, but it's slowly climbing. And so I guess you've answered that. But what do you like seeing on the shelves, say, for new farmers that want to venture into supplying a fruit and veggie store like yourself?
So for us, previously buying from the markets, it was basically just a commercial grower who quite obviously just wanted to get the volume in, which is what the markets usually require, just volume. Okay, they want to keep serving their customers.
But true.
What I've really enjoyed seeing from your product is the volume, the colour, the vibrant, pop that it brings to the store, on the shelf. That's what has really caught my attention. Just as I go through the store, and the comments that I've overheard from other customers basically relates the same thing. They haven't seen it before, but because it's vibrant, the smell, that's what really catches them. So if you're a new grower and you want to get your product into a store, that's really what you want to be aiming for. Have that point of difference from your large commercial grower.
That's it, yes.
And you will have success. As we just discussed, it may be a long, almost drawn out process, but at the end of the day, you will win with that quality.
Excellent. So it leads me to my last question, I guess. What advice can you give a new farmer on how to approach someone like you? You've kind of already answered it, Dan, but what do you like to see, and how has 560 Farms helped your stall in a way? But I guess you've already answered these questions, but how would they approach you, and what would you like to see? Like, do they need to come with a price list, a sample, or things like that?
So for me, being a retailer, at the end of the day, customers always look for appearance first. First and foremost, if it looks good, they will be interested.
So make it look good.
Yep. Secondly, it's going to go for price. I understand, within the community that we're in, which is made up of a lot of farmers, the farmer needs to make their money. I can totally understand that.
So smaller farms will have a higher price point.
Of course. But if you are somewhere in the ballpark, but your quality succeeds another competitive product, I will go with you every day of the week, because I know that you're putting in the work at home, you're producing something that is good, your price, it may not be the cheapest, but it's going to be reasonable for somebody to pick that up and take it home and get the good use out of that particular product. So if you're going to approach a retailer or a wholesaler or whatever it may be prepared to take your best quality product. You always want to make a good impression first off the bat, and have a price list ready to go and your full product list. And be prepared to give your retailer or your wholesaler plenty of information about your product, a little bit of background about yourself, where you've come from, your experience. Because that will convince me he knows what he's doing. I can rely on his product. I've got enough information from him to pass on to my customers when these products come into the store.
Most questions come up.
As we've already said, this isn't a well-known product to the general public, so there's been plenty of questions so far, and to have that knowledge passed on from you to me, then goes directly to my customer. Yeah.
So you've come and visit the farm today. I appreciate that, Dan.
Yeah, that's good.
I guess you now get to see the way I grow and how I do things, and now you can relay even more information. So
Yeah.
thanks for your time, Dan.
Nah, pleasure.
Hope it helps
Absolutely
you guys
loved
out. Yeah. Okay, that was Dan, the man, and I call him boss because he runs that store like a champion, yeah. And it's really beautiful to go in there. The displays he does and the things he does to promote the produce, and you know they're independent. They're not like the Woolworths or the Coles here. They're sourcing local stuff, but trying to price it the best, but have the best. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's it's an honour for me to be in there. Anyway, I know I'm going to get a question about this. I dare say down in the comments about how I got through food regulations for doing this. But in a nutshell, guys, every state here in Australia is different. Some are stricter than others. And all I can suggest, and I've written this out so many times in comments all over my videos, is go and meet and make known to your local food safety officer, who will be present and have an office at your local council for your postcode. And introduce yourself, tell them what you want to do, or if you're already going, go and tell him or her that you have a farm, you want to start selling to the markets or to a shop, and what do I require? And they will go from there, because it's really hard to talk to Australian, New Zealand food safety standards about your farm. When I rang them, they assumed you are a massive farm already and you've got to get HACCP approved and all these mega costs for nothing. But that's all I want to go into it. It's a headache of a subject, and it's just so different between the states here, and depending on your councillor, how you will be approved to sell. But so I hope that helps. But as for this video, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to do some watering and get on with the day. It's getting quite hot now. Spring's certainly kicked in. So, all right, guys. Any questions about what Dan said, leave them down in the comments. If it's a good, decent question, I'll make another video about it, because I'm here to help you out. All right, get healthy, get tasty. Talk to you real soon. Ciao.